The world is full of many different animals. Today, we are learning to draw animals using basic shapes and details. They might look like these when they're done. Learning to draw animals using basic shapes can help you make a dog, an elephant, a turtle, and many more animals. It is a really important skill for an artist to have. We're using an oval tracer for the body shape and a book with illustrations of animals. First, look at every page in the book and choose the animal that you want. Let's try the cat. Place the oval in the center of your paper, hold it down, and trace it. Now draw the body parts. For the cat, we need to turn the oval diagonally, like this. Now let's draw the rest of the cat's body parts. Here is the head. Here are the legs. And here is the tail. Finally, add the details. Look at the illustration to see what you need to add. We need to add whiskers, toes, and a hind leg. And our cat is done. Let's try the eagle. Place the oval in the center of your paper, hold it down, and trace it. Next, draw the eagle's body parts. Here is the head. Here are the wings, straight line, and points underneath, straight line, and points underneath. And here are the tail and the legs. Don't do this. Don't draw the body parts unattached. There should not be a space in between the body and the body parts. Don't leave spaces. Finally, let's add the details. Look at the illustration to see what you need to add. We need a beak, feathers, tail feathers, and talons. Here are the talons. And the beak. And our eagle is finished. Let's try one more, the flamingo. Place the oval in the center of your paper, hold it down, and trace it. Now draw the flamingo's body parts. Here is the head and the neck. Here are the legs. And here is the beak. Don't do this. Don't make the body parts too small, like these skinny flamingo legs and this tiny little flamingo neck. Make sure you draw every body part nice and thick and sturdy. Finally, add the details. Look at the illustration to see what you need to add. We need the feathers and the end of the beak, and the eye also has a dot inside. flamingo is done. Adding the details are really important. This turtle looks great, but with detail, it's fantastic. Now we're ready to draw with basic shapes. Choose an animal, trace the oval, draw the body parts, and draw the details. Work hard and have fun, kids. Now that your drawings are complete, it's time to make some baby animals. It might look like these when they're done. To make the baby animals, you follow the same steps, but do not use the tracer. Just draw an oval freehand and make it a little bit smaller than the oval you drew for the adult animal.
We're just going to look at basic shapes. We're not going to get overwhelmed with all of the details. And when we see those basic shapes, we can draw those basic shapes at the beginning stages of the drawing. The beginning stages of a drawing are the most important stages of the drawing. Once we learn to find those shapes in the subjects that we're drawing, we can create highly detailed drawings because we have a structure in place. So let's look at the process with the bird. We'll start with the shape of the head, which is basically an oval. Notice I'm drawing several lines to draw the oval. It's a good idea to be loose with your marks, especially in the early stages of the drawing. The bill comes out and creates somewhat of a triangle, and I'm going to define the form a little bit more than I would with just a triangle. The neck is simply a rectangular shape that comes down from the oval. Now, as I'm drawing these shapes, I'm also thinking about the relationship of negative space that happens around the overall shape of the bird. I'm making comparisons as I go with the photo reference to make sure that the shapes I'm creating are accurate and proportional. The body, of course, is just an oval. Notice it's slightly diagonal. And there's several groupings of feathers coming off, but I'm only going to worry about the main section here to begin with. I'll add the other parts when I start to add the details. For the legs, we're just going to draw simple lines, concentrating only on where the leg bends or turns and changes direction. Of course, the length of the line is important as well, so we're making comparisons to the length of the body. Now, we'll also draw shapes for the webbed feet. The second leg simply drops straight down. And of course, we'll draw a shape for that foot as well. But notice how it ends higher up on the picture plane. This will create the illusion of space in the image, and it's what is observed in the photo reference. Now that we've got our basic shapes in place, we'll go back to those extra feathers that are sticking out on the end of the bird and add shapes for those as well. Again, as much as we can, we're going to simplify everything that we see in this early stage. And then once we've got the basic form of our object or our subject in place, now we can concentrate on the details. We can focus on the contour lines and defining that line, that edge, even further. We can focus on the textures that are observed, the values, all of the details that seem to be overwhelming at the beginning stages of the drawing, but shouldn't be. In the early stages of the drawing, we should be concentrating only on the basic shapes that we see. Learning how to see these basic shapes is fundamental to learning how to draw. Once you learn how to see objects as basic shapes, then you can draw anything that you want. It's just a process of breaking down complex objects into simple and easy to draw shapes. Adding all those details like the texture, the range of value, that becomes a whole lot easier when you've got accurate shapes in place right from the start. So ultimately, it's a process of simplification, finding simple geometric shapes in the complex objects that you draw, and piecing those shapes together. If you focus on the details right from the start, you'll find that drawing can be frustrating and very difficult. But if you learn to simplify objects into basic shapes right from the start, you'll find that drawing is rather easy. I hope that this demonstration has helped you out, and I hope that you can apply these tips to your own drawings.
How to draw animals. Learn to use simple shapes to draw your favorite animal kingdom buddy or beast. You will need an animal photo, a graphite pencil, paper, and an eraser. Step 1. Study your animal photo. Break the form into circles, triangles, rectangles, and oval shapes, establishing accurate proportions. Begin a fish drawing with a large oval. Use circles for the hips of many four-legged creatures and triangles for heads, ears, and legs. Step 2. Round the animal's outline and define contour details by observing photo details. Draw details after establishing outside contours. Step 3. Add features such as eyes, ears, mouths, hooves, fur, and tails. Let your photo guide you in feature placement and in sketching the finer points of each. Step 4. Erase your original shape guidelines. Step 5. Add shading to create realism and depth to your drawing. Now you have the basic skills to draw anything from a gerbil to a giraffe.